Good morning to all. Myself, Manoj Kumar Bundela, Assistant Professor, Suresh Gyan Vihar University, Jaipur. So we are discussing the production technology of vegetable and spices. So today we will discuss the production technology of drumstick, that is called as moringa or drumstick. Introduction: Moringa represents an available source of essential nutrients and proteins during the whole year. It's a strong immune booster. It is a mean to cure and prevent the malnutrition in infants, pregnant and lacting women. It is mainly used to reduce the malnutrition. It is very good for the pregnant and lacting women. Moringa products more leaves Moringa produce more leaves during the rainy seasons, which corresponds to the hunger period. Moringa is easy to grow, process, and add into the meals. We can prepare the tea, relish, and soups. In that, we can add the moringa. Moringa dried powder can be sold in local market. In local market, moringa dried powder is available. That is called as mithunda. So it is available in the market. Botany. Moringa, the scientific name is Moringa oleifera. Moringa oleifera, genus Moringa, family Moringaceae. Its common name is drumstick tree, miracle tree. It is also called as ben oil tree or mulunga. These are the synonyms of moringa. It is normally called as drumstick or miracle tree. So this is the means complete part of the plants we use. It is used as a medicinal purpose and consumption purpose. Leaves we can also use, fruits also we can use, seeds also we can use. Different moringa species. The 11 moringa species from a part of Africa, Arabia, and 2 from India. The bottle moringa tree species. Moringa Dauri Dauridi. The seeds are 4 to 7 years before the seeds. Likes drier climate. They require the dry climate and they will start the development of the seeds after 4 to 7 years. Moringa Hilende brunudi. It is originated from Madagascar. It's like the drier climate. It will also like the dry climate. Moringa longi, longituba. Moringa stenopetala. It matures in trees grown 20 to 40 feet. It is originated from Ethiopia, Kenya, Somalia, likes dry climate. Moringa ovalifolia. So these are the different species of moringa. Cylinder moringa or tree family includes the Moringa congensis, Moringa oleifera. It is a Indian national and it is used as a medicinal properties. It is mainly used in nutritional and medicinal properties. It is Moringa oleifera. Moringa purpuregrina, short tree shrub, bush and herb family. Moringa pygemia, Moringa borgina, Moringa arborea, Moringa ruspolina. So these are the three species. Seed rate: 500 grams of seeds per hectare. 500 gram seeds per hectare are required, shown into the 2 seeds per pit at a depth of 2.5 to 3 centimeter. Means the depth is 2.5 to 3 centimeter and the sowing is 500 gram seeds. Per pit we have to sow the 2 seeds. The seeds can also be sown in polybags containing the pot mixture and transplant after 35 to 40 days. So either we can sow the seed directly in the field. So directly if we sow the seeds, it required the we have to sow the 2 seeds per pit. If we are preparing the we can sow the seeds in polythene bags also. we can prepare the polythene bag pot mixture. We have to prepare that pot mixture. We have to fill in polythene bags, and in that we have to show the seeds. And after 35 to 40 days, the seeds are ready for transplanting into the main field. Soil requirement. Annual moringa comes up well in a wide range of soil. It means it is an annual type. It is grown in wide range of soil. A deep sandy loamy soil with pH 6.5 to 8 is ideal for the cultivating this crop. So it requires the deep sandy loamy soil with a pH is 6.5 to 8 is ideal for cultivating this crop. The varieties like PKM1, PKM2 and KKM1. So these are the some important variety of moringa. Moringa is an annual crop. pH is 6.5 to 8. Sandy loamy soil is required. Climate requirement. It grown best in direct sunlight under 500-meter altitude. It is grown best in direct sunlight under 500-meter altitude. It tolerant a wide range of soil conditions but prefers a natu- neutral to slightly acidic soil. The pH is 6.3 to 7. It is tolerant to wide range of soil conditions but prefers a neutral to slightly acidic soil. The pH is 6.3 to 7. It requires the well-drained sandy or the loamy soil. Well-drained sandy loamy soil is required. The rainfall is 250 to 3000 mm. Required 250 to 3000 mm rainfall. Temperature is 25 to 35 degrees centigrade. The tree will tolerate up to 48 degrees centigrade in shade and it can be survive a light frost. So it requires the temperature is 25 to 35, but the plant will tolerate the 48 degrees centigrade temperature also inside, and it can be survive in light frost. In frost condition also it will survive. It grown in hilly areas also. Planting method: direct sowing and transplanting of young seedlings. Means we have to show the young seedlings into the polythene bags, and then we will go for transplanting. And then stem cutting also we can use. These are the three methods we use. Direct sowing means directly we will sow the seeds into the field. Direct sowing means like this we have to show the two seeds per pit into the directly we show into the field. Sowing and transplanting of the young seedling. In this first we have to prepare the pot mixers. Then that pot mixer we have to fill into the polythene bags. After that in that polythene bags we have to sow the seeds. Then we have to continuously we will apply the water. After 5 to 6 days the germination will be start, and after 35 to 40 days these are the seedlings of 45 days, and after 45 days when the seedlings are ready for transplanting, that time we will transplant into the main field. So this is called as sowing and transplanting method. Stem cutting. So in this we have to take the stem cutting. The length of cutting is 15 to 20 centimeter and it contains the 2 or 3 buds. Like this cutting we have to make the lower portion we have to make the slant cut and upper portion we have to make the normal cut. In lower portion why we make the slant cut, so that it will increase the area, root area it will increase. Then we have to sow these cuttings and we have to prepare the field and we will keep this cutting into the soil. And after 5 to 6 days, it will take more time, 10 to 15 days, the buds will start germinate. And then when the plants will start growth, that time we will transplant into the main field. So this is the stem cutting. Then cultural practices. Dig the pit of 45 centimeter, 45 centimeter, 45 centimeter with a spacing of 2 into 2.5 meter. So we have to maintain the spacing 2 to 2.5 meter, and we have to dig the pit 45 into 45 into 45 centimeter. Apply the 15 kg of compost or FIM per pit. So we will apply the 15 kg of compost or FIM per pit after mixing the topsoil. So first we will mix the means we will take the topsoil and FIM. We will mix the topsoil and FIM. Then we fill that pit. That dig we have to fill. Then we have to sow the transplant the plants. in that. The spacing we have to maintain, it is like a tree only. So the spacing is 2 to 2.5 meter we have to maintain. The high density planting and fertigation in Moringa. So PKM1 and PKM2. PKM1, it is high density planting of 1.5 into 1 meter spacing. So in high density planting, the spacing is 1.5 into 1 meter with 2 plants per hill, and the plant population is 13,333 per hectare, means 30,333 plants per hectare, along with the application of fertilizer dose of 135, 23, 45 gram of NPK per pit. So what we have to do in high density planting, we have to maintain the spacing between the plant to plant and row to row is less, and the fertilizer dose we have to apply more. Drip irrigation. So fertigation means normally we will mix the nutrients into the water and then we will apply with the help of drips. That is called as fertigation. Application of fertilizer with water, that is called as water soluble fertilizers we will. Drip irrigation increase the yield of moringa. In this, phosphorus should be applied basal as a soil application. So phosphorus we apply as a basal dose as a soil application, and nitrogen and phosphorus can be applied in the form of urea and muriate of potash through the drip irrigation. Means with the drip irrigation we have to apply the potassium and nitrogen, and phosphorus we apply during the land preparation. Second variety is PKM2. The spacing is 1.2 into 1.2 meter. Spacing is less, 1.2 into 1.2 meter is ideal to obtain the highest yield of 138 ton per hectare. So if we use the spacing 1.2 into 1.2 meter, we will get 138 ton per hectare yield. The pinching of main shoot on 80 day after sowing, means after 80 day of sowing, we will pinch the main shoots so that the more side branches will come. If the more side branches will come, then it will give the more yield. So that's why we will go for pinching. Pinching means top shoots we have to remove, top portion we have to remove, so that the more side branches will come. The pinching of main stem 18 day after sowing will also help to register the highest yield of the fruit. So if we go for pinching, it will increase the yield. Production will be increased. Fertilizer and manuring. Moringa tree will generally grown well without adding of very much of fertilizer. Means it is not required of so much quantity of fertilizer. Moringa tree. The fertilizer dose of 45, 15 or 30 kg of NPK per pit. So per pit means per plant, per pit we have to apply the 45, 15 and 30 kg of NPK. This is the fertilizer dose we have to apply. Normally it not required the so much quantity of fertilizers. Next is watering. So nitrogen fertilizers normally we will apply in split dose. So why we apply the split dose nitrogen? Because of the denitrification losses and mm, leaching losses. To reduce the denitrification and leaching losses, we have to apply the nitrogen in split dose. Watering. Moringa tea do not need much water. It not require so much quantity of water. In very dry condition, water regularly for the first 2 months. In very dry condition, normally we will apply the water first 2 months. Afterwards, only when the tree is obviously suffering. Starting we have to apply the starting 2 months. We have to continuously we will apply the water according to the requirements of the plant. But later on, when the rainfall, when the plant is grow well, that time the rainfall is sufficient. So if rainfall is sufficient, then we no need to apply the any of the fertilizers. Only initial time only we have to apply the fertilizers. Later on, we not need no need to apply any fertilizers. After cultivation, the gap filling may be done within a month. So within a month, we have to go for gap filling. Pinch of the seedlings when they are about 75 centimeter in height to facilitate the more branching. So when the plant is 70 after transplanting, when the height of the plant is 75 centimeter, that time what we have to do, we will go for pinching. Pinching means we have to remove the upper portion of the branch, upper upper portion of the main branch. The main stem is there, at upper portion we have to remove. So it will help to development of the more number of side branches. So this is the very important practice that is called as pinching. After gap filling, we will go for pinching. Pinching of the terminal tips. When the seedlings reach a height of 60 centimeter in a main field, the pinch or trim the terminal growing tips 10 centimeter from the top. So from 10 centimeter from the top, we have to go for pinching of the terminal buds. So why we go for pinching of the terminal buds? Because to increase the more number of side branches. If the more number of side branches is there, then it will increase the yield. Pest and disease. Moringa is resistant to the most of the pest in very waterlogged condition. Diploid root rot can be occurs. And if the waterlogging condition is more, then the root rot will be occurs. Moringa pod fly management: the soil application of thiamethoxam 25 Wg at the rate of 200 gram active ingredient per hectare, 150-180 to 10 days after planting. So we will apply the thiamethoxam 150 days after transplanting, then 180 days after planting, and 210 days after planting we have to apply to control the Moringa pod fly. Placement of fermented tomato fruits: 25 per hectare. Need best foliar spray of sponged 45 SC, 56 gram, followed by prophenophos 50 EC in 250 gram active ingredient per hectare. For Moringa, normally for control the Moringa pod fly, we will go for soil treatment with thiamethoxam. We will apply the other other pesticides also we can apply. Insecticides we have to apply to control this. Budworm or leaf caterpillar or leaf weaver. The dust carbaryl 10D 25 kg per hectare or spray the carbaryl 50 WP 2 gram per liter of water. To control the budworm, the leaf caterpillar and leaf weaver, dust carbaryl 10D 25 kg per hectare and spray the carbaryl 50 WP 2 gram per liter. Hairy caterpillar: use the flame torch when the caterpillar settle on the tree trunk. So normally, hairy caterpillar it will sit on the trunk of the plant. So when the caterpillar sit on the trunk of the plant, that time what we have to do? We have to apply the flame torch. Budworm: Narodia moringa and the scale insect Dipsydus species or Cercoplastoda caegina are reported able to cause the serious damage. So these are some insects, they will cause the serious damage. Maturity indices: to determine the change in the physical and chemical properties with maturity of moringa, to identify the correct stage of maturity for harvesting. It was found that the toughening of moringa pods were caused by the formation of lignin. Due to the formation of lignin in the moringa, the toughening of the ports will be closed. The only practical means of controlling the lignification is by prevention. So the only method that we use to control the lignin is prevention. Prevention is the only method that we can use to control the lignin lignification. Therefore, the harvesting of the pods before lignification is the best stage of maturity. So we have to harvest the pods before the lignification. Thus, that is the best stage for harvesting of the pods. Because if we harvest the pods after lignification, then it is not accepted by the consumers in the market. Therefore, harvesting of pod before lignification is the best. Should be harvested when the pods are at maximum length. So according to the length, when they attain the maximum length, that time we will go for harvesting of the pods. Before seed prominent form out or green or flexible. Before the formation of the seeds, we have to harvest. It takes 38 days from flowering to the come to the best stage of maturity. From flowering to maturity, it will take 38 days. So before lignification, we have to go for harvesting. Harvesting. Producing the seeds of planting or for the oil extraction. Allow the pods to dry and turns brown on the tree. If we are going for the seed extraction or for the oil extraction, then we have to allow the pods to dry on the plant itself. Means after drying, we have to harvest the pods. Ratoon crop. Cut back the trees at 90 centimeter from the ground level. So from 90 centimeter from the ground level, we will cut the plant. After harvesting, in the in another 4 to 5 months, plants will again come to harvest. So after photo means means after when we take the fruits, after that what we have to do, we will cut the plants of 90 centimeters above from the ground, we will cut the plant. After that, after 4 to 5 months, the again plant will come to harvest. Ratoon crops can be taken for 3 years. So from one plants we can take the 3 years we can take the ratoon crops. Apply the fertilizers. Whenever we take the ratoon crops, we will apply the fertilizers 45, 15, 30 gram NPK per plant. Per plant, we have to apply 45, 15, and 30 gram of NPK. Within a week after cutting, back within a week after cutting, back along with 25 kg of FIM or compost every year. 25 kg of FIM and compost we have to apply every year, and then NPK and FIM we have to apply. Whenever we go for, we have to take the ratoon crop, we will go for cutting of the plants. The yield, the yield is 50 to 55 tons of pods per hectare. 50 to 55 tons of pods per hectare, or 220 pods per tree per year. 50 to 55 tons of pod per hectare, or 220 pods per tree per year. Market information. Crop growing districts. So it is mainly grown in Tripur, Theni, Karu, Dindigul. Major markets in Tamil Nadu. So Tamil Nadu, the vegetable market, Chennai Gandhi market. So these are the major market, the Coimbatore market. Preferred variety and hybrids, PKM1, PKM2, and KM1. So these are the only variety or hybrid that is mainly grown. That is majorly grown. So these are the value added product that is prepared from the drumstick. Like cosmetic ingredient, it is used into the cosmetic ingredient. It is used as a edible oil or biofuel. Used as a edible oil and biofuel. Powderized food ingredient. We will make the powders of the pods and we will prepare the powderized food ingredient. Textured vegetable meat we can prepare. Specially spec- speculative energy drinks we can prepare the speculative energy drinks. Oral care ingredient we can prepare, like Colgate and all we can prepare. Medicine and vitamins, because it is a multi-uses. It is a rich source of all minerals and vitamins. That's why it is have the good nutritional value. So many products we can prepare from this. The nutritional aspects we can see it contain all the nutrients. Like first is carbohydrates. It contain 8.53 gram carbohydrates, calories 17, protein 4% RDA 2.10 gram, total fat 1% RDA 0.20 gram, dietary fibers 8% RDA 3.2 grams, folates 11% RDA 44 microgram, niacin 4% RDA 0.680 milligram, pyridoxine 9% RDA 0.120 milligram, magnesium 11% RDA 45 milligram per 100 gram of food, selenium 15% RDA 8.2 microgram, riboflavin 6% RDA 0.074 milligram, thiamine 4.5% RDA 0.053 milligram, vitamin A 2.5% RDA 74 international unit, vitamin C 235% RDA 141 milligram, sodium 3% RDA 42 milligram, potassium 10% RDA 461 milligram, calcium 3% RDA 30 milligram, iron 4.5 RDA 0.36 milligram, phosphorus 9% RDA 50 milligram, zinc 4% RDA 0.45 milligram. These are the nutritional content. Next is health benefit. It protects the skin and nourishes hairs. It provides the antioxidant and anti-inflammatory effect. It has the antioxidant and anti-inflammatory effect. It promotes the heart health, means it will reduce the heart high BP and low BP, stabilize the mood and enhance the neurotransmitter functions, stabilize the blood sugar level. It will control the blood sugar level, treats the stomach disorders. It is mainly used to control the stomach disorders, protect the liver, enhance the eyesight. It will increase the eyesight, boosts the immunity, will increase the immunity, prevents the stone formation, and it will control the stone formation. It will helps to prevent the cancer. Will helps to prevent the cancer. Serves as a it will serve as a antibacterial agent. Antibacterial, treats anemia, will treats the asthma. So these are the some health benefit of drumstick. So drumstick is have the so many of health benefit. It contain the all the nutrients, vitamins, proteins. So it is a good food. Nowadays, it will the malformation will be controlled by the use of this drumstick. Next crop we will discuss the pea. Pea means the scientific name of pea is Pisum sativum. That is we call as matar. Pisum sativum, family Leguminosae. So this is you can see the flowers of pea, and this is the pods or fruits of pea. Garden pea is also called as green or common pea, are a hardy, cool-season vining annual. There are two types of pea. One is field pea and second one is garden pea. So garden pea is also known as hard or cool season pea, and it is a annual pea. They are grown for their flesh edible green pods, but they may also used as a dry seed crop. Means either they have to use as a dry seed crops or they grow for the green pods. The pea is the most commonly the small spherical seeds or the seed pod of the pod fruits Pisum sativum. Each pod contains the several peas, and pea pods are botanically a fruit. So this is the pea fruit. You can see this is a pod. In this, it contains the several number of fruits. These are the several number of pea fruits. So this is the plant. You can see the pea plants. So node 1, node 2, node 1, node 2, node 3. Scare nodes. These are the scare nodes. It will increase the fertility of the soils due to the presence of nodules in the soil. Pea are starchy but high in fiber. They will contain the vitamins, minerals, and lutein. Pea straw is a nutritious fodder. So pea straw we can use as a nutritional fodders for the animals. It contains the vitamin, minerals, fibers, proteins. Pea green and raw. It contains the nutritional value. We can see the nutritional value of pea. The energy content from the pea is 339 kilojoule, means 81 kilocalorie. Energy 81 kilocalorie. Carbohydrates 14.45 gram, 14.45 gram carbohydrates. Sugars 5.67 gram, sugar 5.67 gram. Dietary fibers 5.1 gram, dietary fibers 5.1 gram. Protein 5.42 gram. It contains 5.42 gram protein. Fat 0.4 gram fat. It contains vitamin A. It contains 38 microgram or 5%. Vitamin A 38 microgram or 4%. Beta carotene 449 microgram or 4%. Vitamin C 40 milligram 48%. So these are the nutritional value of energy provides carbohydrates, sugars, dietary fibers, protein, fat, vitamin A, beta carotene, and vitamin C. Next is modern culinary use. So pea have the different uses like frozen green peas and dry yellow split peas. So peas normally we can use the green peas also and dry peas also we can use. So pea are probably originated in southwestern Asia, possibly the northwestern India, southwestern Asia or possibly northwestern India. Pakistan was the adjacent area of from USSR and Afghanistan and then spread to the temperate zone of Europe. It is originated from southwestern Asia or northwestern India. It is mainly grown in Pakistan, Afghanistan and their temperate area of Europe. Based on the genetic diversity, there are four centers of origin. Based on the genetic diversity of pea, it has the four center of origin. Central Asia, the near the east. Central Asia, second is near the east. Abasian and the Mediterranean region. Abasian region and the Mediterranean region have been be recognized. So these are the four center of origin. Normally it is found Central Asia, Near East, Abasian region and Mediterranean region. McGillivray in 1961 divided the P. Pisum sativum into the group. So it is divided the Pisum sativum into different groups based on the there is a different region based on the like pre-pod based on the pre-pods like they are smooth pod seeded or wrinkled seeded. Smooth seeded pods are there or wrinkle seeded are there. This is the two types they are divided. The wrinkle seeded varieties are sweeter. The wrinkled seeded varieties are called as sweet pea, and smooth seeded varieties are called as field pea. Second is they divided based on the plant height. So if we see the plant, whether it is a bush or dwarf plant, medium tall or tall plant, it is based on the height of the plants, classified three types: bush or dwarf type, medium tall or tall plants. Next is based on the maturity. So based on the maturity divided into three types: early season maturity variety. Early season maturity varieties, they will mature in 65 to 70 days after sowing. Early season maturity means they will mature in 65 to 70 days. Medium season maturity, they will mature in 90 to 100 days. Medium season maturity 90 to 100 days. Early season maturity 65 to 70 days. Main season maturity variety 110 to 120 days after sowing. So late season or main season maturity variety, they will mature in 110 to 120 days after sowing. So these are the different group maturity group: early season, medium season, and main season. Early season 65 to 70 days, medium 90 to 100 days, and main season 110 to 120 days for maturity. Smooth seeded type of varieties. A smooth seeded type of varieties, they are dwarf, green, and smooth seeded varieties developed at IRI. They are small green, and they are smooth seeded variety. They are developed by the IARI. Pods are produced singly, means single pods will produce. The flowering start in 30 to 35 days after sowing. So flowering will be start 30 to 35 days after sowing, and the blossom appears in 6 to 7 nodes. The blossom means the flower will be appear in 6 to 7 nodes. Second type is wrinkled seeded varieties. So, and introduce and dwarf varieties from the England with yellowish and green foliage. It have the yellowish, it have the complete green foliage, it have the yellowish green foliage. The flowers are in 45 days, and first blossom appears in 8 to 10 nodes. In that, smooth seeded early varieties, it will appear in 6 to 7 nodes. But in case of second varieties, it will appear in 8 to 10 nodes. Pods are born singly. In this, the pods will form single pods will develop. Next is Mitto. Mitto is an introduced variety from England. It is mainly grown in England. Mitto. The plants are 35 to 40 centimeter tall, dark green, 8.7 centimeter long, with 7 smooth seeds. So in one pod, it contains the 7 seeds. In one pod, like this is the one pod. In one pod, it contains the 7 seeds. Will develop the plants in 35 to 40 days. Next is dwarf white seeded dwarf white seeded cultivars. It is a dwarf white seeded cultivars. Flowers are developed in 40 days. It will take the 40 days. The pods are born singly, small and narrow green. The pods are formed singly, small and narrow. Lucknow Bonia. Lucknow Bonia. Dwarf white seeded cultivars. Flowers are in 40 days, and pods are born singly or small narrow green. Next is early varieties. So in early variety means in early variety, wrinkled varieties. In early, we have to read the wrinkled variety. In wrinkled variety, first variety is Arkil. So Arkil is a high yielding dwarf variety. High yielding dwarf variety. It takes 60 days to ready for two green pods. In 60 days the pods are ready. In Arkil, 60 days the pods are ready for harvesting. Next is early based. So early based. is a dwarf variety. It is introduced from USA. Early Based is a dwarf variety introduced from USA. The pods are ready for picking in 60 to 65 days after sowing. So pods are ready for picking in 60 to 65 days after sowing in early Based. It is a good canning variety and resistant to fusarium wilt. So it is mainly used for the canning purpose and it is resistant to the fusarium wilt. Early Based. It is a dwarf introduced from USA. Next is Little Marvel, a dwarf variety introduced from England. So Little Marvel is a dwarf variety. It is introduced from England. The foliage are dark green. Foliage are dark green. First blossom appears in 9 to 10 node. The first blossom will be start in 9 to 10th node in 40 days after sowing. Dwarf variety introduced from England. A Little Marvel, it is introduced from England. Early Based introduced from USA. Urkel dwarf variety. Complete pods we have to consume. So next variety is Jawahar Matar 3, JM3, or it is developed in early December. Jawahar Matar 3, JM3. So it is developed in early December. So Jawahar Matar 3 is developed at Jabalpur. It is a cross between T19 into early Based. T19 into early Based. The crossing between the T19 into early Based, the development variety is Jawahar Matar Jawahar Matar 3. The plant height is 70 to 75 centimeter with bushy growth habit. 70 to 75 centimeter plant height and bushy growth habit. The variety suffers severely from the powdery mildew. So in this Jawahar Matar 3, powdery mildew is the major problem. First pickling start in 50 to 55 days after sowing. The first pickling of the fruits will start 50 to 55 days after sowing. The average yield is 4 ton per hectare. So Jawahar Matar 3, the average yield is 4 ton per hectare. Next is VL Agathi Matar 7. VL Agathi Matar 7, VL7 you can see. It is developed at Almora. So this is the Jawahar Matar 3 and this is the VL Agathi Matar 7. It is developed from the Almora Pant Upar into Arkil. Crossing between the Pant Upar into Arkil. Plants are dwarf with dark green foliage. Plants are dwarf with dark green foliage, white flowers. The seeds are light green, dimpled gold and very sweet with TSS. Agathi Matar 7, the seeds are very sweet. Average yield is 10 ton per hectare with 45%, selling percentage is 45%. Import to the yield is 42%. Next is Pant Matar 2. It is developed at Pantnagar through the pedigree selection. Developed from the Pantnagar through the pedigree selection by crossing between the early Based into IP3 or Pantupad. Early Based into Pantupad. By crossing between these two, it is developed. It is also highly susceptible to powdery mildew. The average pod yield 7 to 8 ton per hectare. Average pod yield is 7 to 8 ton per hectare. Mid-season crops T19, the medium tall and double podded variety. The first blossom appears in 12 to 14 node after 60 days. The pods are yellowish green and slightly curved. 41, it is a pure line selection from accessories PS113, dwarf type having the yield potential is 11.9, resistant to the fruit flies. Late varieties. Next is climate requirement. It thrives best grown in relatively cool weather conditions, however may not be withstand in a severe continuous frost condition. The optimum temperature for germination is 22 degrees centigrade. Boswell 1920 reported that as the temperature increased during the growing season, the yield is declined. If the temperature will be increased, the yield will be reduced. The optimum mean monthly temperature is 12.8 to 18 degrees centigrade. Soil. The pea can be grown on varieties of soil from light sandy to the clay soil. Though the best results are obtained on the well-drained, loose, friable loamy soil. The most favorable range of pH is 6 to 7.5, and if falls below 6, the land should be received adequate throughout the not successive dressing of lime. So pH acidic soil are there, then we have to add the lime to increase the soil pH. Field preparation. Thoroughly preparation of the soil is necessary. The surface should be smooth and free from the clouds so that no difficulty arise at the time of sowing. It is free from the clouds so that difficulties will not come during the time of sowing. The pea is generally sown in Rabi season. In plains of India, from the beginning of monsoon to the mid of November, beginning of October to the mid of November, we have to show. In hilly areas, from the middle of March to the end of the second crop in a also sown in autumn. Sowing of the seeds during the November is proper time of get higher yield. If we sow the seeds in November, we will get the good yield. Seed rate. For early type, the seed rate is 100 to 120 kg. Early type seed rate is 100 to 120 kg per hectare. For mid-season and late varieties, the seed yield is 80 to 90 kg per hectare. Mid-season or late, 80 to 90, 100 to 120. Spacing is 45 into 20 centimeter. Methods of sowing. Flat bed layout in used. Generally shown by the broadcasting but may also be shown by dibbling or behind the plow. Broadcasting or it is mainly shown by the dibbling or behind the plow. The seeds are soaked in water overnight before sowing for the better germination. For better germination, we will soak the seeds in water. We will get the good germination percentage. Paul Sodakar et al. 1974 reported soaking in Ga 10 ppm for 12 hours. It will give the highest germination and yield. We will soak it to the Ga for 10 ppm solution for 12 hours. It will give the highest germination percentage. So these are the seeds. Seeds are sown into the pits. Manure and fertilizers. A small dose of nitrogen fertilizers at the rate of 25 kg of nitrogen per hectare valuable for the early growth of legumes. Phosphorus increase the yield and improve the quality, but results are obtained by application of 50 kg of potash per hectare. So for good result, we have to apply the 50 kg of potash. FIM of 20 ton per hectare if incorporated at the time of land preparation, and it will give the good yield. Intercultural operations. This is important operation to be done when the vines are about 2 years old and are to be spreading stage. Generally, the plant should be supported by the bamboo sticks. Delay in this operation will reduce the yield considerably. So we have to give the staking. For that, we can use the bamboo. For threads, we can use. Weed control. So to control the weed, we can use the atrazine, propagine, and simazine. So these are mainly used to control the weeds. Irrigation. Water requirements depends largely on the agronomic condition of the localities. The crop may be irrigated at both 10 days interval. One or two irrigation at the time of flowering and fruit set are essential. Harvesting. When the pods are well filled and the young tender peas changing in the color from dark to the light green. So when the color of the pods is changed from dark to the light green, that time we will go for harvesting of the pods. Early harvesting is done 45 to 60 days, mid-season harvesting 75 days, and late season harvesting 100 days after sowing. Early varieties will give the yield 3000 to 4000 kg of the green pods per hectare. 3000 to 4000 kg green pods per hectare. Mid-season and late season varieties will give 6,000 to 7,000 kg of green pods per hectare. So early will give the less yield 3,000 to 4,000, and mid and late season will give 6,000 to 7,000. So this is all about the pea and moringa. Thank you. Thank you all.